Alright, here we have a Riptide. The board for Riptide is pretty similar. I just board in 2 Warmongers and then cut down on like Swamp. The matchup has gotten a little bit harder since the Bonds ban, but I don't think it's unwinnable by any stretch of the imagination. This hand sucks, but we'll make the best of it. I think we're pitching 2 Bonds, and then actually, yeah, I think we're pitching because I want to arsenal this blue. So I think we're gonna pitch 2 Bonds to Kakara into Flusterfist, arsenaling Harmony the Hunt. This is a pretty mediocre turn 1. There's some merit to me arsenaling Bonds, but I'm not like the hugest fan of that, honestly. Opponent is on New Horizon, the Death Dealer version, which I think is probably the scariest version of Riptide, just because they can hit you with like Inertia plus Sleep Dart or like Inertia plus Battering Bolt. There are a lot of kind of scary effects in this version. So playing around Inertia traps and other things are going to be very important in this matchup, and also finding our CNCs. The opponent is also running Stonewall, which again I think has gotten a little bit better. Well, I think it's about the same, but I think it's gotten a little bit better into post-ban Zen rather. Yeah. It's a little bit harder to like close the combat chain when you're sealing, like when you don't have like multiple redundant bonds in hand and stuff like that. Okay, so we're now rewarded for setting up our blue, although we would have drawn another blue anyways, but now we can go pitch. So we can either keep this Harmony in Arsenal, pitch, get Descendant, but then what do we do with the Chase the Tail is the question. Or we can Harmony, Chase Aspect, Arsenal this is probably the line. It depends a lot on what they do, but most likely we might just be developing out the Chi this turn. Okay, we're gonna do 5 goes, which makes sense. This is vanilla damage, so we'll just take vanilla damage. And they're gonna pitch a Codex to load what? Remorseless, makes sense. With the blood draw off the top, pretty gross. So we're gonna take a bit of damage here. I don't think there's really much of a way around it. So ideally we want our turn to be as kind of like minimal as possible. So I think the play might be block 3 here, do Descendant Bonds, Fluster off Harmony. Then that opens us up to getting Inertia, but they don't have an Arsenal right now. So that's a plus, and then we take 1, 2, 3, 4 extra damage. This is basically coming for 12, which is a little spooky. Alternatively, we can not go super deep into the... So we're basically going to be sending 4 plus 5 plus 5 damage, so it's 14. So we're going to be taking an extra 4 to send 14. I think is probably worth it. And then we'll keep our Harmony and Arsenal. Yeah, this makes sense. So this is going to be like a 16 damage, or no, a 14 damage Remorseless, which is a little shitty. But sometimes not much you can do, especially if you're trying to set up. So we'll start with the Harmony, see what we banish. If we banish anything good, I don't know if that's good. That might not be getting played this turn. We'll stir the pot. Actually, we could also pivot and not get a Bonds and just play this out. Maybe get... What do we get here then? I'm trying to see if this changes our play at all. It might, because we can do Harmony now, pitch this, make 2 Tigers, get Aspect. Oh, we have to pay 1 for that, so we can't do that. It's kind of crappy. Maybe the play is honestly just not overextending this Remorseless and just do like spinning and Descendant, pitching the Chi. Probably makes the most sense, honestly. I don't like eating a ton of damage against Riptide, especially this early. I think there's definitely merit to developing out the bonds here, but then we're wasting kind of like spinning value a little bit. So I'm just going to opt to keep our life total a little bit high, and then we'll play the Descendant first just to play around collapsing if they have it, but again, I don't imagine that they would. They're opting to Stonewall here, which I think is wrong, especially since this isn't really the pop-off turn. So you can just close chain in response to... This is why Stonewall is kind of... I think... I don't know how they designed this card, but I feel like having the ability to like close the combo chain kind of invalidates this card. And here this Riptide is cooking. He's cooking something with Prismatic Leyline. I don't know what he's cooking, but it might be something. Okay, they're hitting me with a 5 damage blue golden shot. Terrifying. Gonna get free reload on this too. Crazy. Alright, they've used one of the ley lines. And they're gonna hit us with a pre-med into a Bolton shot. Oh, a yellow Bolton shot. Oh damn, they had the full setup here. We're gonna try to kill them though. Probably don't want to Harmony next turn. Probably want to use this for pitch. So yeah. They are going to get an Arsenal, which is a little scary. They also haven't seen a ton of traps, but I know this version of Riptide is kind of lower on the trap count. And I'm telling you, Riptide does crazy amounts of damage, even with Prismatic Leyline. Like, look at that, I'm already at 15, but we got a pretty good turn now. So we're going to Arbor first before we Chi, just so we have maximum information. Do buff Vanish. Find a Chase the Tail. Okay, interesting. So what is the play here? We can do this. Making a Tiger. Activate Zen, making a Tiger. Getting an Aspect, making a Tiger. So we have 3 Tigers in total for our Chase the Tails. And then potentially do something with the Sea Strike. I'm not sure what. I think that's probably the line. It's a little bit weird, but I think it makes sense. So let's start with Harmony Hunt, making another Tiger in our hand. Then we will lead off. This Drop in the Ocean is going to be used for pitch this turn. So we'll have 4 mana total if we're pitching this Drop in the Ocean. 2 is needed for Chase, and then we have another 2 for Kakara. So I guess we should do the Kakara now. Kakara now makes sense, I guess. Then we'll do... I'm trying to play around Collapsing Trap as best I can. We'll do Tiger now. We'll pitch, or we shouldn't pitch now. We should do Chase first, and then we pitch. So we pitch, making a Tiger, getting Aspect, play the Aspect. So now we have 2 Tigers. Then we do another Tiger, into Chase, into Tiger, Arsenaling E-Strike. It should be a lot of damage here. Again, this version of Riptide I think is a lot less trap heavy. So being at 15 is a little bit less scary. wondering if there's actually more we can do with E-Strike, but I do like arsenaling E-Strike against Riptide. So now we got a pretty good life differential, and we can hit a really good hand here. So hopefully this should be enough to keep us in here. So this cheering shot is most likely going to have go again. The question is, what is their follow-up? They're going to put us to 10, and then have a 2-card hand with go again. Yeah, I think we're going to have to hold on to our armor here a little bit. One interesting thing about Kasaya is that we can also make a Zen state in response to the Riptide traps if we need to. If we can push enough damage on our turn to do that. Yeah, we're going to say no blocks here and see what they do. Most likely it's Snapdragon. Yeah. I just want to save our armor in case we need to block out something scarier, like a Codex into Remorseless or something. Alright, they're going to put us to 8, which again is like almost basically lethal range against Riptide. Use Tunic, Death Dealer, see what they hit. Please don't hit a buff off the top. Ooh. If it's buff, that's really bad. Okay, no buff. I think we do have to now give up armor because they don't have a source to go again. And this is presumably either a trap or an arrow. So yeah, we're going to have to go ahead and do that. We will let it hit, but the armor isn't going to matter. So now we have to kill them basically this turn, or else they're going to kind of lock us out with traps. So we'll go ahead and block 4 here on the 6, take 2. Now life totals are pretty even, but we'll have a 5-card hand. So I think we're going to pitch the Harmony here so that we can levels, Grain, get Descendant, do Descendant Bonds, something, E-Strike. Depends what we draw off this levels too. So we get our Descendant. We'll do draw go. Blue Henderwinds is mediocre, but it's fine. So now we can go 2 into 1 into 2 into 1 into what? We want to E-Strike this this Crouching Tiger into deck. So it's probably going to be spinning if I had to guess. So we could do 2, 1, Bonds, getting spinning, E-Strike for 7. Try to kill him. Yeah. I think we're probably overthinking this a little bit. Or we can actually put the 100 Winds. No, we can't put the 100 Winds back in deck. Because we have to pitch it. So I guess it is just Tiger back in deck. But it looks like this is like the less trap heavy variant, which I think is better into Zen overall. But we should be able to get him here. The downside of this version is that they don't really have like a lot of end game. And then we're floating 2, so we'll do this, that. And we'll come in for another breakpoint. Oh, and they have Rain Razor's Codex. Oh, a rough hand. But overall, pretty good game. Riptide is definitely a lot scarier now. You have to respect the Riptide. And good Riptides are very scary. But again, the life totals end up being pretty close. But yeah, just pop up early against them. Don't get hit by inertias, and you should be good. All right, thanks. Bye.